after like listening to it and really like thinking about it, and I was like, oh, there's
depth.
There's a lot of layers there that I really appreciate. Yeah.
Well, you know me, I'm so frivolous.
Well, no, I wouldn't think that.
No,
it's just that I honestly, I just,
Yeah.
I hadn't heard it.
Well, and again, because of the spoken word specifically in the beginning, she hooked me. Because dreams do run in my family. So my mommy actually saved my life through not necessarily a dream, but like a premonition, if you will. So that shit does run in my family.
Yeah, I don't know if it runs in mine.
You don't have that one Thea you call up when you have a dream. You're like, Thea, what's it mean? No?
No, I'm the person people call.
I understand that. Everybody's like, who do you call for Xematyesma? Who do you call for the evil eye? I'm like, I am now that person in the family. It was my yaya, but now it's me.
And I would say I'm the person people call in community, just because I'm not super close to a lot of my relatives, but,
No,
but
I mean extended family. I mean like family you choose too.
Yeah, but people that, yeah, you get what I'm saying.
There's always that one person who's like, who can interpret the dream down to like detail and be like, this is what's happening. And then it actually happens. You're like, wow, I do not mess with you.
I'm not that good. I just ask a lot of questions. Could it be this? Could it be that? What do you think of this?
No, I have some aunties who are fierce. I'm like, oh, okay. All right.
So tell me more about this song. So we took a break and now we're back. So welcome to Music Saves My Life.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and thank you for listening. And hopefully some of what we say resonates with you, and hopefully you're hearing some stuff that you don't generally hear about these topics.
So one of the things that I do that I think is that has been a helpful practice for me is a lot of the times when we hear a song, we think the artist is talking to someone else. Like, we think, how do I explain it? Like, when you hear a love song, and you're like, that artist is talking about someone they love.
Ah, okay.
And I think that is very likely true about this song. But the way, it's just a thing that I do when I hear a song. I hear it as if it's the universe singing to me.
I like that.
And so then, or it's also sometimes me singing to myself. So it's like the things that I would sing to myself at like the soul level. Right? So it's the universe singing to me. It's me singing to me. And I think it's because I have led a very solitary life. But in my exploration of grief and love, especially when listening to this song, and later in the series, we'll talk about songs that really meant a lot to me. But what I love about this song is that it asks questions. And you know that I'm so big, I say that a lot. Ask questions, experience answers. And so much of my practice and just like my mindfulness of the things that I'm working through, I do that by asking questions, right? Like that's how you get really real with yourself. And, without going like super in depth with it, in 2019, I battled cancer.
Yes.
So part of that process, I had to ask those questions. I had to ask, what is life? What is love? What are lies? What is trust? What is everything? And so what I love about the song is that essentially it's like a mini existential crisis. And I'm the queen of the existential crisis, right? Because I'm constantly asking these like questions so anyway, I was getting ready today and listening to the song and part of my practice also when part of my ritual before meeting with like a client or doing spiritual and energy work is in that process. As I'm getting ready, I'll listen to music, and then I'll start receiving messages, and like I'll get visions and memories and stuff like that. And so it made me think of a very, very long time ago. Someone was like, why do you think about what everything means so much? Because I was like, they were like, you do that to like what seems like an exhausting degree for you. And I was like, I don't know another way.
Yeah.
Like, that's just a part of it, right? And so I was laughing to myself about that because I was like, there I go again.
No, and I can relate to that because I led a solitary existence, especially in that I was going through a lot of death at a young age, and none of my peers could relate. I was telling the Death Alchemist, I was like, yeah, I've been steeped in death my entire life. So, yeah, it's very solitary, especially when you don't have people around you that are going through similar things. And those questions obviously do come up.
I think the exploration of death and experiencing grief, these are the things that come up, right? Because it makes you question your very existence.
Yes.
What is everything?
Yes.
And
life in general. Like, you may be dealing with death, but it really highlights life. What am I going to do while I'm here?
Yeah. And so that's, I think, I don't know if we touched on this in the last episode, but that is, to me, the thing that grief really taught me is it was, or death, facing death. In many ways, it is this hurricane, right? But that storm clears away all of the distraction. Yeah, the bullshit, the distraction, and you ask these core questions of what is life, what is love, what are lies, what is trust.
That's huge.
What?
That's huge.
What the fuck is trust?
Yeah.
Like, really, and why is it hard? And I mean, like, to not oversimplify, like, right? There's
like that's a whole nother episode.
But yeah, what is everything? And so,
and I love after that she goes, everything is nothing without you.
And that leads me to when I was listening to the song, even though I feel like, again, the artist was talking about, someone that she loves, I was listening to it as the universe singing to me.
Yeah.
And so it gives it a different meaning when you listen to it in that way. And so that's a small way of explaining sort of like how sometimes I'll receive like messages, because that's why I'll be really inspired, right? Because sometimes you need to hear that.
Yeah. Having it focused on you, being able to receive that message as well. Like, you're important too. And she actually says that too. I hope I am enough. And that one cut me deep. That one hit me deep.
Yeah.
Because we all struggle. Well, I wouldn't say we all struggle with it, but we all have that question of dealing with enoughness. And especially when you so sincerely want to provide for those you love.
And that brings it back to like how the song starts.
Yeah.
Right? Because the song is talking about like safety and
your ancestors preparing paradise for you in the afterlife. Like, that is to be held and supported and loved and met like that. That's huge.
Well, and what a beautiful message to share and to give, that if for an artist to say, this is what I'm going to sing about, and this is the message that I want to give, and hopefully this is an aspect of this experience, right? Because it is very honest. I'm running out of patience.
That is me. Oh my God, running out of patience with myself and getting my ass together. Yes.
Right? And that's an aspect of it. Right? And I think that's an aspect of dealing with and being in grief is like being like patient with it. And that's something I've had to come back to over and over again.
Yeah.
Because you never stop like loving that person, or certain like relationships do have that huge impact, and so yeah, no, I really did love the song.
Good.
It was really cool, and it made me think about a bunch of different things, and it helped me like travel, right? And it helped me have a bunch of different thoughts. And I was like, regardless of like what the original intent of the artist, it was the message that I received today was that, so it's in that way, it's a mile marker of clearly these are themes that are circulating in my mind. Yeah. And that is why I made those connections through that song. But it's interesting, right? The way that we receive messages. And that's why I've said, like, I've listened to this song before, but there are moments... It
hits you different today, huh?
There are moments where, like, I just listened to the song that I've loved, and now for, like, the first time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
It happens.
You can hear something a couple times or over and over again, but, like, then there's that one moment where you're like, oh, okay, now this song has taken on a different meaning, or I now understand the message that I needed to receive from that song.
It's opened up a whole new avenue for me. And I will say with her specifically, a lot of her stuff is really raw. Like, she is no bullshit, and I fucking love her for that. And this is also no bullshit in its own way, in that it is so vulnerable and so honest and so real. Like, there's such a sweetness to it. But yeah, I do love her. Let's put it this way: one of the titles of one of her songs is "Fuck It." Like, if that.
No, I'm definitely gonna go back.
I love her
and listen to the whole album.
Yeah, I have a huge musical crush on her. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm glad. I'm really glad that you chose the song.
Yay!
I'm gonna go listen to the whole album, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see where that song takes me in future listens.
Well, I hope everyone gets a little bit of something from it.
Yeah.
So, thank you for joining us all. Thank you.
So this is Music Saves My Life. My name is Priscilla Rubio.
And I'm Maryelen Hareftis.
Thanks for joining us tonight. Bye.